Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Diwali phone call with US President Donald Trump this week wasn't just a polite exchange of greetings. It carried a subtle but pointed message. While the two leaders spoke on the occasion of Diwali, Modi used the conversation to underline India's firm stand against terrorism and to remind Washington that New Delhi expects its allies to stand shoulder to shoulder on that front. On social media, Prime Minister Modi posted, "Thank you, President Trump, for your phone call and warm Diwali greetings. On this festival of lights, may our two great democracies continue to illuminate the world with hope and stand united against terrorism in all its forms." The second half of the message about standing united against terrorism was not accidental. It was a carefully worded reminder of where India draws its red line, particularly at a time when Washington appears to be warming up again to Pakistan, a country New Delhi has long accused of sheltering and supporting terrorists. In recent months, the Trump administration's tone towards Islamabad has noticeably softened. After years of distance, the US and Pakistan are once again talking the language of cooperation, and that, for New Delhi, is a cause for concern. During Trump's own Diwali celebrations at the White House, the American president told reporters that he and Modi had discussed peace in South Asia. Trump said, "We talked about trade, and let's have no wars with Pakistan. We have no war with Pakistan and India." That was a very, very good thing.
People gathered on behalf of all Americans. Let me also extend our warmest wishes to the people of India. I just spoke to your Prime Minister today. We had a great conversation. We talk about trade, we talk about a lot of things, but mostly the world of trade. He's very interested in that. Although we did talk a little while ago about let's have no wars with Pakistan. And I think the fact that trade was involved, I was able to talk about that. And we have no war with Pakistan and India, and that was a very, very good thing. But he's a great person, and he's become a great friend of mine over the years.
That comment raised eyebrows in New Delhi, because India has made no mention of any such discussion. Modi's own statement made no reference to peace with Pakistan, no mention of trade, only a clear call to stand against terror. The difference in tone between the two statements speaks volumes. Trump, known for his spontaneous and sometimes exaggerated comments, seemed to frame the conversation in his own familiar style, while Modi, ever deliberate, kept his message focused on principles and policy. Behind this exchange lies a deeper tension. The Trump administration has recently revived engagement with Pakistan, something that Indian officials see as a rollback to the old days, when Washington viewed India and Pakistan through the same regional prism. In June, Pakistan's Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir was hosted at the White House, the first such visit by a Pakistani military leader, and accompanied by civilian officials in years. That was followed by a joint meeting in September, when President Trump hosted both Munir and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. Since then, Pakistan has gone on a charm offensive, signing new cryptocurrency deals, praising Trump in public, and even nominating him for Nobel Peace Prize, not once, but twice. Islamabad has been eager to rebrand itself as a useful partner, particularly as Trump looks for new leverage in the region. Experts believe Trump's interest isn't just political, it's also economic. With China tightening control over rare earth exports, Washington has been scouting for alternative sources. Pakistan, with its untapped reserves of lithium and other critical minerals, suddenly finds itself useful again. For India, that revival of the US-Pakistan connection carries uncomfortable echoes of the past. Modi's Diwali message, therefore, was more than festive diplomacy. It was a strategic signal, a reminder that India will not accept any dilution in America's counter-terror commitments, and that friendship with India must come with clarity on Pakistan's role as a state sponsor of terrorism. But while the Diwali call carried diplomatic fireworks, there's already a bigger stage waiting for both the leaders. Prime Minister Modi and President Trump are expected to meet again at the upcoming ASEAN Summit and East Asia Summits, where trade negotiations will headline the agenda. Discussions cover tariff rationalization, energy cooperation, and agricultural market access. An Indian delegation led by Commerce Secretary Rajesh Agarwal recently visited Washington for talks, and the two sides are reportedly close to a deal that could slash tariffs on Indian exports from nearly 50% to around 15 to 16%. That's a massive economic reset if it actually happens. But knowing Trump, out of the deal often comes with out of the delay. And this time, India is making it clear. It won't play by the old script of endless promises and few results. Meanwhile, Trump's diplomatic diary remains as unpredictable as his Twitter feed. Just days ago, he grumbled that he didn't want a wasted meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin after plans for face-to-face talks about the war in Ukraine were put on hold. Trump suggested Moscow's refusal to stop fighting was the main hurdle, though in his usual style, he made sure the world knew he was the one walking away from the table. So, as Trump cancels one wasted meeting and prepares for another one, Modi's steady, scripted diplomacy looks like the more grounded counterpart. One side thrives on drama, the other on direction. It also reflects New Delhi's broader strategy under Modi: engage with all, but on India's terms. Whether it's Washington or Moscow, Beijing or Brussels, Modi's foreign policy has increasingly been defined by strategic independence and insistence on mutual respect. The Diwali call fits that pattern perfectly. A warm exchange on the surface, but with a clear subtext that India expects its allies to understand its security concerns, not overlook them. So, behind the greetings, the symbolism, and the talk of light over darkness, Modi's call carried something deeper. A reminder to the United States that for India, the fight against terror is not seasonal, it's fundamental. And on this Diwali, that message shone brighter than any festive lamp, even if a few in Washington are still fumbling for the switch. This is Rudrashish Kanjalal for India Today Global.